Anyhow, we learned Cramer's rule. We're going to do a few example problems to jog your memory. If you didn't write it down, it's not that difficult, I promise. It really isn't that difficult once you get the hang of how to do these. So
It takes a little longer.
it doesn't take that long. I think you'll see it doesn't take that long.
Yeah, it's repetitive.
It is repetitive. You're right. All right. So take a second if you want to write that down. All right, we're going to calculate three numbers first. The three numbers are called the determinants. Okay. We're going to use the determinants then to solve for x and y. So the first number is just going to be called b. To find d, we're going to take what's called the determinant of these coefficients. This is called the coefficient matrix. So the four coefficients, 3, -6, 5, and 4, we're going to take the determinant of that matrix. To find the determinant, you do some cross multiplying. You do 3 times 4, so that's 12, minus 5 times -6, -30. The middle sign is always a minus. So that becomes 12 plus 30, 42. The next determinant we're going to find is what we call d sub x. To find d sub x, we're going to replace the x column, this column here, with these answers here. Those are going to take their place. Because we're solving for the x, we're going to replace the x's. So instead of having 3 and 5, we're going to have 24 and 12. And then we're going to keep the y's. So when we solve for x, we replace the x column. We then cross multiply. So we do 4 times 24, 96, minus 6 times 12 is 72, so it's a -72. And then that becomes a plus 168. And the last number we need is d sub y. In d sub y, we replace the y column. So this column gets swapped out too. We keep the x's, so keep 3 and 5. And then we swap 6 and 4 with 24 and 12. And then we do our cross multiply and subtract. 3 times 12 is 36. Minus 5 times 24. 220. That gives you -84. Those are three numbers. Anybody confused on how I came up with either the matrices, how I came up with these, or how you do the determinant part? It's easy operations, right? Okay, then to get x, x is d sub x over d. So we write whatever d sub x is, it's 168 over d, which is 42. 168 divided by 42 is even 4. That's 4. And then y is d sub y over d. Which is -84 over d of 42. That's -2. So our answer is 4, comma. A lot of the delta math ones, you do get fractions, but it works the same way. You just have to reduce the fraction. Yeah, we'll do 1 or 2 where you get fractions. So that's not too hard, right? Some basic multiplying and subtracting. That's it. Try another one or two. I'm sure you got it. Set that down now.
I swear that was a sneeze. I know. It's like,
Sure was.
God bless America.
All right, so let's go ahead and get D on this one. So D again is the coefficients, so 2, 10, negative 3, and 10. And then especially once you get the hang of these 2 by 2 determinants, they're easy. Just make sure you get the right signs in there. So 2 times 10 is 20, minus negative 3 times 10 is negative 30. There we go. And then you do d sub x. And these are the 3 numbers you have to type into delta math. Type these 3 in, and then you type in the answer. So d sub x, you swap out the x column with these answers, negative 1 and 5, and then repeat negative 3 and 10. And then cross multiply, negative 10 minus negative 15. Negative 10 plus 15 is 5. So we got d sub y. D sub y, we swap out the y column, we keep 2 and 10. And then replace the y with negative 1 5. Cross multiply, 2 times 5 is 10, minus negative 10 is 20. And then we write our 2 answers. X is d sub x, which is 5, over d, which is 50. We just reduce that. 5 over 50 is 1/10. And y is 20 over 50, which is 2/5. So 1/10. So even with the fractions, it's not bad. If you're not good with fractions, you can always use your calculator. This is pretty straightforward, but if you can't get that, 5 divided by 50, enter, and then remember we set math and then frac, and it will simplify the fraction. So even on delta math, if you think the fractions are hard to simplify, use your calculator, just do math and frac. It's not hard. I think we saw this one. I think I showed this to you on Wednesday, but I can't remember. This one where you got 0 as the D. Did I show that one to you? Something to be getting 0 for D. You don't have to write this down. But if you do this one to your determinant, you get 3, 6, negative 4. You get negative 12 minus negative 12, which is 0. So if D is 0, then this is actually going to be no solution. The reason why is because it's going to be x is going to be some number over 0, and y is going to be a number over 0, which are both undefined. So this is no solution. The reason why is if you were to just multiply this equation by 2, you would get 6x minus 4y equals 8. So then we have 6x minus 4y equaling 8 here, 6x minus 4y equaling 0 there. It's not possible to have the same equation equaling 2 different things. So that's no solution. So you guys think you can do those now? If you already did them, then obviously you can. But yeah. All right. So we give you a lot of time to work on it in class. And you do have this assignment, and then if you didn't do the delta math, you've got to do that too. So double assignments. The ones that I want you to work on at least first, though, do this before you do the delta math because the delta math you have to get them right, and this will help you practice and make sure you can get them right, and then you can go out and do them on the delta. So look at this. Work with someone if you want to. That's fine. You want to talk and work with someone. That's great. Yeah, those 7 problems. There's one of them that does not have a solution, but again, it's not a bad idea to work with someone. You can prepare your answers as you're going to make sure you don't miss something. Yeah. And then if you finish that, you can either work on the delta math. If you have the delta math finished, then I'll have a quizzes up here that you can work on after you get this finished. But again, make sure to work someone. Ask me if you just want me to check your work or check your answer. Ask that as well. I'll be happy to check your answer.